Hello guys, this is Ben, and I am not synced with this Ben because I am Ben from my desk. So you could listen to this idiot, or you could listen to me on this lovely Sennheiser microphone. So I'm going to pick up right where we left off here from part 1. So if you did not watch part 1 of this video, feel free to go back and watch it, or you could just watch this video, part 2. But we're going to pick right back up where we left off in the previous video, and that is section 3, camp and gear storage. Alright, talking about storage and camp setup goals, my goals here are to be able to efficiently access needed items for off-road recovery, repairs, and camping. Another crucial thing, the food needs to be accessible. I want my setup to be versatile to quickly go from being day trip friendly to multi-day trip friendly. All roof items must be easily removable from the OEM crossbars so I can pull into the garage when I get home. Generally, I don't need to put anything on the roof for a day trip, so everything that goes on the roof is more suited for trips that last multiple days. Alright, so here's what we got going on for storage in the back here. I'll kind of walk through it here one step at a time. So if I back up here, the first thing is the storage in the tailgate here. So this is the HFab tailgate storage mod. It requires a little bit of work on your own part here to cut up your tailgate, but it makes a very usable storage space. If I get some light in there, ooh, my light almost just fell over. So getting some light in there, you'll see basically what I have in here are winch rope extension right here. This is my spare winch line right here, this gray thing. And then I have some tree savers right here in this purple bag. I have a Deadman loop right here from Deadman Offroad. It's kind of just like a big soft shackle basically. And then I have some hard shackles in here just in case I need those. Some Gear America snatch blocks. Just some thin little ratchet straps here, nothing crazy. I think that's some rope. Yeah, some rope in there. Nothing too much here. Some goggles, PT belt. You know, you got to be extra safe with your reflective PT belt. Duct tape. Just kind of recovery stuff in general. A basic guide to winching from Factor 55 there. And yeah. Just kind of some various things here for recovery that I probably wouldn't need immediately, but if it's maybe bad enough, I'll need some of these things. So I like to keep them accessible right here in the tailgate. All right, and then back here, this kind of looks like a mess, but it's actually really not that bad. So basically here I have the, I'll kind of peel back the layers, I guess, if you will. So this is the Safe Jack. I think it's the 3-ton off-road jack kit. It's like the general kit, comes with a bunch of little extensions. Highly recommend having a bottle jack that has extensions that are long enough, and hopefully, you know, they're rated and everything so that they're actually safe to use. Long enough for a lifted 4x4. If you lift your vehicle, you're probably not going to be able to use your factory jack anymore. And then behind that right here, we have a duck that some Jeep person gave me. Don't need that. And basically right here in this big Plano box, it's the I hope I never have to use box. It's basically the length of my trunk here. In that box are all the fluids and kind of anything that I would need if I was in a rough spot. Some spare parts, fluids, other things. Hopefully I never have to use it, which is kind of why I have other things strapped to it, because I shouldn't be opening this box very often, but if I need to get it, the box is certainly there. And then strapped on top of it up front here are my I have a Jetboil Genesis 2-burner stove right here, and this thing is awesome. It's a little bit pricey, but if you can buy it on sale, it's definitely a good deal. I just like it because it's really small and packable, which I think is important. And then right here I have a cast iron pan, and it's in a Drifta. I have a lot of Drifta branded stuff, but it's in this Drifta cast iron pan little bag thing, so it doesn't get everything back in there dirty. And then over here I have in some storage boxes basically just everything that I need if I'm actually cooking using the Jetboil. So, you know, oil for the pan, condiments, salt, pepper, all that jazz is in there. And then I kind of have the cleanup stuff up top right here, so a little dish drying rack that's collapsible and a collapsible bucket. This is collapsible too if I needed to collapse it, just so I have the option there. This right here is the Goal Zero Boulder briefcase solar panel, so I use that if I absolutely need to. Great to have a solar panel to be able to charge things. Right here we have Mishka's dog bag. Just everything that Misc needs I keep in there. This is kind of like my hygiene, toiletries, whatever else, sunscreen, some knives, whatever else bag. Underneath that, if I can move these guys out of the way, here, this is my toolbox. I keep all my tools in here. It's ever growing, but you know, impacts, sockets, all the other jazz. That is in the toolbox right here. And then what I had just moved out of the way here, this is kind of like my quick eating and coffee kit right here. So if I move you guys up a little bit here, this is my little coffee pouch. I keep my Jetboil in here, which I also use for freeze-dried meals, coffee grinds, all sorts of other stuffs in this Drifta bag here. Mason jar, coffee mug. And then here, I keep all my freeze-dried meals in this bag right here. And this is also made by Drifta, as you can see. And it's just a whole smorgasbord of a couple snacks in there too that I left from the last trip. But yeah, just a bunch of freeze-dried meals all in there. Sometimes, you know, I just want to eat a meal quickly. I don't want to have to cook and do all that jazz and clean dishes and everything. So what I'll do is I'll just grab my Jetboil out of here, and I'll grab a freeze-dried meal out of here. Or if it's breakfast, I'll just grab my Jetboil, make some coffee, probably make some oatmeal. And then I'm only going into these two things right here to eat for those kind of quick times where I don't really feel like cooking a whole thing. And then if we're, you know, at camp and we're settled in and we have a lot of time, I'll be able to cook using all that over there. On top of the tool case here, I keep a wool blanket, and then I have enough space too to put a cooler, a Yeti cooler on top of this if I'm going out for extended time and I need to keep things cold. So I can put a cooler in here if I want to. And then I just put these two things off to the side over here. And speaking of the other side over here, this is kind of where I keep the longer things. So basically what I have here is my camp chair. I have it in its own little bag here just because it gets snagged on things if I, you know, keep it out. It's like a foldable Klymit chair. Great little chair. But it's nice to kind of keep it in its own bag since it didn't come with one. So that's the camp chair right there. And then right here, this is kind of like some camp supplies, like stakes, tent stakes, ponchos. What else do I have in there? Like, I think I might have some ratchet straps in here, some bungee cords. So it's kind of nice to keep those things on hand. So I keep that right here, easily accessible. And then back here, I have a cheap little Coleman table. It's not anything crazy. It's just what I use to cook on. So I'm not getting grease and everything else splattered all over my tailgate here. So it's nice to be able to cook on a separate table. This is small, sets up in like 2 seconds. It was like 20 bucks on Amazon. And then the last of the long items, this right here is my single cot. I'll pull it out here so you can kind of see it in the light. So if I'm solo camping, then I will use this in conjunction with my Crashpad King single swag. And then if it's like the wife and I will put take this out, and then I'll put the double cot, which we have, which is actually pretty nice. I'll put the double cot here, it still fits, and then we'll put our double swag on top of that. Before I completely close it off, tucked away in here is the factory bottle jack, and so basically I just keep the factory bottle jack in there as a backup. And I also have, see if I can not bonk my camera too hard there, and then I also have this Landcruiserphil bottle jack extension. It fits onto your OEM jack and makes it so at least you can lift like the rear axle or a lower control arm. I think it felt the lower control arm, I don't remember 100%, but yeah, it's a nice little jack extension. If you're lifted, this does a pretty good job at being able to get you up there. And so I'll use this safe jack as like my primary jack, and then this is like a nice little backup. And the OEM jack is a mechanical jack, which is nice too. So definitely recommend keeping your OEM bottle jack and then buying one of these Landcruiserphil extensions for it. If you don't use it as a primary jack, it makes a great backup jack, which is what I use it for. If there's one thing I kind of learned this summer, it's that the order of which you store things is important. So basically what I do here is I have the chair on top, and that was the order I was pulling it out. Chair on top, because sometimes you just stop somewhere and you just want to bring your chair out to sit down. And then I have the table below the chair because sometimes I want to, be able to cook. And then if we're really, sitting down and setting up camp and everything, I have the cot on the bottom here for my tent. And one more thing that I completely forgot to cover was this little 5-pound propane tank. This is an Ignik propane tank, and it has a little cover on it made by Drifta. It's actually sized for Australian sized propane tanks, so I had to get a little creative and cut some edges of it so it would fit over this little 5-pound propane tank. But this is great. I'll use this for cooking, and I'll use it for my camp showers as well, which I'll get to here in a little bit. But highly recommend these little 5-pound propane tanks. I've never run out of propane with this. A couple times I've used it, like a fair amount. I've brought it to the gas station to get it filled up, and either it was such a small amount that they filled it up with that they didn't even charge me, and then the other time they just couldn't fill it with anything more. 5 pounds for me is more than enough. I was able to get by with like a 7-day trip on this 5 pounds, so it worked out pretty well. Up here I have it's a Bison gear storage net. I have a little light mounted on it as well, and basically I just have my some blankets in there, the orange, which is first aid kit. And then over here, I have the, well, here you can see hanging off of it is a Drifta paper towel holder. Australian paper towels are actually shorter than US paper towels, so you have to cut a US paper towel roll to size to be able to fit in this little paper towel roll dispenser thing here, which is kind of funny, but I did not realize that when I bought it. So Australians, you have shorter paper towels. I don't know why. And here we have these are drawer bags. I don't have drawers, obviously, but they're perfect for the top of the netting here. And I just have them strapped in here, and then I keep a little carabiner on them, a little night iced S-beaner there. And that does a pretty good job at holding them. They don't go anywhere. In this one, I have like cold weather gear, a rain jacket, so hat, gloves, heavy jacket, or not heavy, but, little puffy coat. And then my rain jacket. And then in this one over here, I just have some kind of spare electronic things. So, some different lanterns, cables, a few other things that are electronic in nature, and I keep those in that one there. And I really like these drawer bags, actually. They're really good. They serve my purpose, and yeah, I definitely recommend Drifta canvas products. They're pretty cheap to ship to the US, considering they're very packable. So I probably paid like $40 on shipping on a whole slew of various canvas products that you see here, which is actually a pretty good price. So definitely look into Drifta if you're looking for just various canvas products. They make a canvas product for literally whatever you can think of. Like, they have canvas products for things that I didn't even know existed. So definitely hop on their website there. And I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but I just like their stuff. Alrighty, so that kind of wraps up the trunk storage there. So now moving on to the other part of storage here, we have my rear bumper storage. So here you'll notice I have a Crashpad Wheelbag. Crashpad makes great stuff. That was the cot I had in there earlier. I really like these wheel bags. I did a whole review on it that you can see. I can probably link it somewhere in a corner here if I'm feeling ambitious enough. But yeah, great little thing. I took my mud boots out of it because I was using them for something. So normally I keep mud boots in here. I'll keep a little bag of trash in here, and then I have this, which is what I call my quick pull kit, and it's just a snatch strap and 2 soft shackles. So if I don't want to open up my whole recovery bag and it's just a quick pull, especially around town, like in the winter, this is great. I just leave it in there. Cool. Bang, bang, boom. Pull somebody out. No problem, right? That's how recoveries go. They're very easy. They're never difficult. Just like that. And then over here, so this right here, this is the triple jerry can holder. And on a longer trip, I will put 2 gas jerry cans in here, and I'll turn my recovery gear bag sideways like this, and that'll fit. And then I'll just put this Pelican case inside the rig somewhere. But most of the time I don't need spare gas where I'm going. If I'm going on a longer trip, definitely want to bring gas, so I'll take these, reorient them. But this is how I have it most of the time. So on top here, ratcheted and strapped down, is my recovery gear bag. And in here, I keep all sorts of stuff. It's a netted bag, so I could probably undo it here and show you kinda. It's a bag that's got this like PVC on the bottom here, and then this netting on top so it can breathe. And then I'll throw like loosely, this isn't like watertight or anything, or not airtight, but I'll throw this, it's just a backpack rain cover. I'll throw it on top of it, because I noticed it when I originally had it. I didn't really care too much if it gets wet, although it's probably not ideal. But what was really annoying is all getting super dusty back here, very dusty. So I put this little rain cover on it, and it still has like, air or room to air out here, with the mesh netting right there. So in here I have a whole bunch of extra soft shackles. I have my winch stuff, my Factor 55 recovery ring for my winch in here. I have another tree strap in here that I'll use as my primary tree strap if I need it, and I have the backup in the bumper. I think the one in the bumper is a little bit shorter, and then I keep the longer one in here, or maybe vice versa. But however I keep it, I decided that I just can't remember. And yeah, I definitely recommend keeping your recovery gear very accessible. Oh, I have a 30-foot kinetic rope in here too, so my ADHD brain is going all over the place right now. But yeah, keep your recovery gear very accessible, and hopefully somewhere easy to reach. Like if I'm stuck in mud, I can still, you know, it might be kind of messy getting back here, but I can still get to this. Whereas if it's inside the rig, sometimes that's, you know, so. But yeah, so this is the recovery gear bag. I'll take this off now. So this case is a Pelican 1510, and the Pelican 1510 perfectly fits in this Dissent Offroad triple jerry can bumper here. So I feel like it was made to be here. Keep my whole tire kit in here. So everything, you know, gauges, air compressor, the little, I don't know, whatever stem puller thing that you can quick air down. And then I have the screw-on ones to air down. I just need to set them properly because they didn't come set like they said they would. But yeah, so my Ironman air compressor, 100% you need an air compressor if you're going off-roading. You have to have an air compressor. Do not bring an air compressor. And yeah, unless your friends have an air compressor, then you can bum theirs. But I'm the guy who gets their air compressor bummed every now and then. So yeah, I like keeping all this stuff accessible too, because you know, if we're going off-roading, we go somewhere, we hop off the highway, we're going down the off-road trail. I like to be able to air down quickly, and then when we're getting back on, I like to air up quickly. Sometimes, you know, we hit 2 trails in one day. It's annoying to be constantly airing up and airing down, but it's nice to be able to do it a little bit more quickly and efficiently. So recommend keeping all your air up, air down stuff easily accessible. That kind of wraps up the rear bumper area here. So next, I'm going to show you what I'd have on my roof, except it would be really difficult for me to show you while it's on my roof, if that makes sense. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set it up on the floor here as if it was on my roof. So I'll put it in the same like orientation and everything else on my floor. And then I'll kind of walk you through my roof storage setup, which I only really use when I'm like camping or spending an overnight. So, you know, not a single day trip, but 2 or more days. So I'll kind of show you how I work with my roof storage setup here. This is basically what my roof setup looks like just on the floor. So let's start kind of here, maybe with the biggest thing. Right here we have my Yakima Skinny Warrior basket, and I have an extension on here as well. It's like brings it to an extra foot long. And the biggest thing I have in the basket here is my swag. So this is my swag tent right here. Love swag tents. If you follow me on Instagram, you know that I'm a big proponent of swag tents, especially over rooftop tents. I think for off-roading, swag tents are amazing. And if I bring the double swag too, so if like me and my wife are out on a trip and I want to bring the double swag I've actually been able to fit in the single swag bag by removing the mattress and putting in an air mattress that I can inflate in it. It's maybe a little bit less comfortable than this, but I like being able to just keep this whole setup the same, because if I got the full double mattress in the double swag, I would have to like move one of these things because it would stick out like an extra foot. So that's not ideal, obviously. So I just like keeping it all the same here. So this is a single swag. It just has the regular rolled foam mattress. And then right here, the whole rest of it is dedicated to shower. So I have the kick-ass shower awning mounted on the basket right here with some like LP Adventure Yakima mounts, but it's just a metal plate with some holes in it. It's nothing crazy. The holes are just spaced properly for the Yakima basket to mount an awning onto. So I have my shower awning, and that, you know, hangs over the passenger side of the vehicle. And then right here, I have the shower stuff that I want to keep weather protected. It's in a weather sealed Yeti GoBox. I think it's like the GoBox 30. So in there is the hot water heater, some of the electronics, like the electronic cables and things that you plug in your car, and the cigarette lighter. So I keep all that I want to keep dry in there. And then in here, this is a Drifta, it's like a Drifta shoe bag, but it's mesh and it has a PVC bottom. So you can see here, has that PVC bottom right there, and then it's mesh on top. This is where I keep all the shower hoses. So the cold water hoses, the hot water hoses, and then the shower head, all that stuff that's gonna be wet, I just keep in here in the mesh bag so that it's not in here with these things that I don't want to get wet. And also this is a sealed container, so if I put a bunch of wet stuff in here, it's probably going to mold. I know that because it happened to me last summer in a Pelican case, which is pretty stupid of me, right? Like obviously a weather sealed case is going to be keeping the moisture inside of it too. So yeah, definitely recommend keeping all the shower stuff that's like wet and going to be wet. The hoses, those take forever to dry out. Just throw them in a mesh bag on the roof, let them do their thing. And then the important stuff they don't want to get wet in here. And then the Yeti boxes are really nice, especially compared to the Pelicans, because they're really lightweight. So I really like that this box is pretty lightweight. And then I do have like a little net that I just bought on Amazon that covers this whole thing. I found that to be a little bit easier than ratchet straps. And it's pretty jank, but what I do is I just have all these zip ties and carabiners. And so when I want to take it off here, this would be like the, passenger side of the vehicle. So I come up, hop on a tire, and then just undo these carabiners. And when I put everything back on, I just kind of, reclip them back in there to that zip tie. And then that's kind of how I keep everything easily accessible. It's not perfect, but it works fine. I have some quick fist mounts right here that mount to my Yakima basket. And then I just have a Gerber splitting maul right here just for splitting wood. And then here, I made a video for it, but it was one of my first YouTube videos, and I'm definitely not perfect at making YouTube videos, but I kind of look like I was being held hostage. But I made a little Maxtrax Storage thing for OEM style crossbar setups. So you can check out that video. I can link to it above here if I'm feeling outgoing today. But yeah, so I have 4 Maxtrax here. Shout out Craig at Total Truck. That's where I got these from. But yeah, 4 Maxtrax here. I keep them. I don't really honestly use Maxtrax a whole lot, but it is nice to have them just in case you need them, especially if you're winching somebody and you're sliding, or there's a couple other good uses for Maxtrax, but I don't use them a ton, so I just put them on my roof. And then I park the Landcruiser in the garage, so I have to be able to take all this stuff off the roof, which is why I created this Maxtrax mount and why I went with the roof basket. Because I just like to be able to take them all off so I can park in the garage. It's nice to be able to park in the garage, especially because I keep the Landcruiser on a battery tender. So it makes it easy. And then the last thing we have here is the Yakima Slimshady awning. It's along the same lines that I can mount it to OEM crossbars with the Yakima mounts that they included here, which is really nice. So that's why I bought this awning as well, was because I'm able to mount it to factory crossbars, and I really do appreciate that. So this awning, super easy, take on and off. It weighs like 30 pounds or something, pretty lightweight. It's in general a good idea to keep your roof lighter-ish weight. I know this kind of isn't the most lightweight setup in the world, but it's also not the heaviest setup in the world either. So yeah, I definitely think for me, this is a good roof setup, considering I have to be able to take all this crap off to park at my garage, and then if I want to go on a trip, put it all back on. So, kind of depends on your use case there. But for me, it works, and I enjoy it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that build walkthrough of my 100 series Land Cruiser. I love it. It's a great vehicle. And if you have any questions about anything, feel free to ask down in the comments below. And if you want me to make any more videos and go at a more in-depth level of kind of the various components that I touched on, definitely let me know. More than willing to make some more videos. But I figured kind of brief overview of everything that I've got going on might be helpful to some people. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Anyways, please like, share, subscribe, whatever you want to do if you enjoyed the video. And until the next video, we'll see you around. Thanks, guys.